In 2010, Beth Sletten took home the Community Involvement Award at SCC's annual Excellence in Community Television Awards ceremony. She burst into the scene here at SCC in December of 2009 and has been a force to be reckoned with ever since. She now hosts her own show titled Our Neighborhood, and she's here today to tell us all about it. So welcome, Beth.
Thank you for inviting me.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your show, Our Neighborhood? What is it about?
Well, really, how it started was with my father, Ralph Sletten, my sister, Margaret Ann Behrens, both producers of the program. And they really started it with the idea of bringing local issues not only to the public's awareness, but also family history and the preservation of family history.
Okay, so it's not just a political show then?
Not just a political show.
That's good. What was it that sparked your interest in having a public access TV show? Obviously, was it your dad who started it, or was it your Margaret's idea, or where did it kind of get started? Actually,
it was my father and Margaret's idea, and I kind of came into the scene a little bit further behind. So they've had it for quite some time, but then Margaret was elected to an official position, and I said, you know, if you ever have a few openings, I would love to host and get involved with it because I have a previous background in the arts. And so that's really how that all transpired.
And then she had more and more openings, and now you're pretty much the solo host?
I'm pretty much the solo host. However, we have hosted a show last year together.
Oh,
she hosted a couple shows on her own.
Okay.
And so we really both, as soon as we have someone that's interested of being either on the program or someone we feel has to bring, or rather they have a very good message to bring forth to the public, we enjoy to have them on.
Okay, let's talk about some of your guests, because you've had quite a few local celebrities and some infamous people come in the studio, and me, myself, I would be a little intimidated to approach those people. How do you approach them? How do you get them to come here to SCC and say, like Robin Robinson, for example, or Christine Kleberg, they've been here. What's your approach to inviting them on the show?
Well, you know, as everyone in Minnesota knows, Robin Robinson, of course, was on Fox News for many years, but in her own right, she has done many things within the community.
Okay.
And last year, she decided to make a very thoughtful transition in her life to take her own personal goals to another direction. And so she really thought very carefully about getting into politics. So she decided to campaign for governor, the assistant governor, lieutenant governor, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really thought, wow, what an opportunity, since she's starting to get into the political realm, to invite her on the program to see if she would like to spend some time with us to not only talk about the issues and concerns that she has with Minnesota in general, so to speak,
mm-hmm.
but also to support her as a human being and her own personal endeavors with Rocks, her company.
So it wasn't really about just their quote-unquote celebrity, it was more about their goals for their communities then? That's kind of the angle you went at?
I really did, because my goal personally is I want people not to just see their makeup, their face. Of course, everyone sees corporate media and
mm-hmm.
them being on every night or every morning, you know, bringing the news as an anchor or weather person, as Christine Kleberg has been for many years. But I wanted them also to see the phenomenal women that they are, and the information that not only have they gathered personally, but as human beings really had to strive and work to get to where they are today.
Yeah, and you touched a little bit about family history, and you had a local musician, Lee Hawkins Sr., and he talked a lot about his family history. How did you get in touch with Lee, and what kind of sparked your interest in him personally?
Lee Hawkins Jr. and his sisters went to school with us in not only in elementary, junior high, and high school, but they were in different grades. And respectfully, we had a commonality, if you will. Both of our families have a lot of diverse experiences.
Okay.
They have a lot of diversity that they grew up with, and they worked with a lot of community organizations to try to bring more awareness to that. And also with our family, my parents both, we had an emergency shelter for 39 years. So we really were very nurturing to the fact of the diversity and the awareness that we need to strive to bring forth to our communities on a different level that we had a lot of knowledge with.
Our neighborhood has gone through, the show itself has gone through a lot of changes since it first started. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about this new direction that you're going in?
You're right, because we really tried to bring a lot of not only political issues and events forward to the community that they wouldn't necessarily see on corporate media, but we also really want to bring in the importance of preserving family history. But as we really were rolling with the program, we did want to bring some of the comments and questions that our viewers had back to them. And so some of them were really wanting to focus on specific community events, specific things as we do in our research and investigating things and bringing those facts and records forth to the community. But we also wanted to show people the amazing talent that we have right here in Minnesota, so they know they don't have to necessarily go and look for someone in California if they have a big event, or New York or other states as rightfully and respectfully so, that right here in Minnesota we have some amazing talent.
And it's nice to see the positive side when you're looking at political shows that are kind of talking about our neighborhoods. They always kind of harp on the negatives, and really there's a lot of positive there that we can feature. So Beth, tell me, what are some of your future plans for Our Neighborhood?
Well, we're really excited. This year, of course, we brought already Christine Kleberg on the program, and we're talking about a featured film here, Minnesota, that she has been working on for 5 years. And Our Neighborhood actually is going to have some key roles in that we're going to be bringing on several episodes of Our Neighborhood to keep the public aware of the featured film that really started and is going to continue to move forward here in Minnesota. But also we're going to bring in some other celebrities as well. We also have had been, I could say, approached by some people in California and Florida, and I can't mention quite their names yet because it's still in that infancy stage, if you will, for contracts and stuff. But we're going to be bringing in some national talent, and we're trying to also really let the national talent see how creative and energetic here we are locally, and perhaps bring in more jobs and bring more awareness to the people here in Minnesota.
Tell us, Beth, how can people get a hold of you if they're interested in learning more about your show, or maybe even being involved with your show?
I like people personally to contact me directly, so please, they can email me at elizabeth007@comcast.net.
That sounds great, and we'll have to stay tuned. Thank you, Beth, so much for joining us on Access SCC today. And remember, you can catch Our Neighborhood every Saturday at 6 p.m. on Channel 15.